As the day goes, new things happen, neighbors celebrate, but you are looking at the person you love, the person you have built a life with, and you are feeling a strange, cold distance that wasn't there before. You are standing in the quiet corners of your home, watching them move through the rooms, and you are asking yourself a terrifying question: are we growing apart, or are we just going through a rough patch? It is one of the most agonizing spaces to occupy in a relationship. When you are in a rough patch, the ground feels rocky, but you still feel like you are standing on the same mountain. But when you fear you are growing apart, it feels like the very earth beneath your feet is splitting open, and you are helplessly watching your partner drift away on a separate piece of land, unable to bridge the gap. The fear tells you that this is the beginning of the end. The anxiety tells you that the love is dying. But today, I want to offer you a different perspective. Distance in a relationship is not always a sign of decay. Sometimes distance is simply a symptom of life, fatigue, and the natural seasons of human growth. Over the next 30 minutes, we are going to explore this distance together. We are going to look closely at the subtle, hidden differences between a temporary rough patch and a deep structural drift. More importantly, we are going to learn how to read these signs with absolute clarity, without panic, and with a gentle, loving heart. Let us walk through this territory together, step by step. To understand where you are, we must first define the nature of a rough patch. A rough patch is an external storm hitting an internal bond. It is a period where life becomes incredibly heavy, stressful, or chaotic, and the pressure of those external circumstances bleeds into how you treat one another. Think about what has been happening in your lives over the last few months. Has there been financial stress? A difficult transition at work? Are you dealing with grief, health issues, or the exhausting demands of raising children or caring for aging parents? When human beings are pushed to their emotional and physical limits by the outside world, their capacity for patience, warmth, and intimacy completely shrinks. You enter survival mode. And when you are in survival mode, you do not have the energy to be a perfect partner. You become irritable. You snap over small things. You forget to ask how their day was. The relationship feels dry, tense, and difficult. But here is the beautiful truth about a rough patch: the friction is temporary, and it is tied to a cause. In a rough patch, if you were to remove the stress, if you were to give yourselves a weekend of pure rest, free from responsibilities, the warmth would instantly rush back. In a rough patch, you still want the same things. You still have the same core values, the same vision for the future, and the same underlying respect for one another. You are simply exhausted. You haven't lost your connection. You have just lost your capacity to tend to it right now. If this is what you are experiencing, your relationship is not dying. It is just tired. Now, let us gently look at what it means when two people are growing apart. Growing apart is not an external storm, it is an internal drift. It happens slowly, quietly, and often without any shouting or dramatic conflict. In fact, many couples who are growing apart rarely fight at all. Instead, they fade into a comfortable, polite, but deeply lonely coexistence. Growing apart occurs when the core changes happening inside of you, or inside your partner, begin to move in completely opposite directions. Human beings are not static. We evolve. We learn new things, we adopt new values, and our perspectives on life shift as we age. When a relationship is healthy, partners grow together. They share their internal shifts, they adapt to each other's new layers, and they rewrite the rules of their connection to fit who they are becoming. But when you grow apart, that internal communication stops. You keep your changing thoughts to yourself. your partner keeps their new desires to themselves. Over time, you wake up one day, look across the bed, and realize you are living with a stranger. You no longer share the same fundamental values. The goals you once had together no longer excite one or both of you. The future you are dreaming of no longer has room for the reality of who your partner has become. This is a deeper, more structural challenge because it isn't about being too tired to connect. It is about no longer wanting to connect to the same destination. Let us look at the first major indicator to help you differentiate between these two spaces: the nature of your silence. Every relationship experiences silence. There are days when you simply have nothing to say, or when you are both absorbed in your own minds. But the feeling behind that silence tells the entire story. In a rough patch, the silence feels heavy, tense, or awkward. It is a charged silence. It is the kind of silence where you are sitting on the couch together, and you can feel the unsaid words vibrating in the air. You want to speak, but you are afraid of starting another argument. You want to reach out, but your pride or your hurt is holding you back. This tense silence is actually a sign of life. It means the connection is still highly active. It is just blocked by a wall of unresolved tension. You are silent because you care too much about the consequences of speaking. When you are growing apart, the past begins to lose its power to warm you. When you look back at your old memories, they feel distant, almost like they belong to two different people in a movie you watched a long time ago. They no longer trigger that deep, aching desire to return. And when you look toward the future, you find that your visions have decoupled. In a rough patch, the future is a place where you hope things will get better together. When you are growing apart, the future is a place where you secretly imagine how much easier, lighter, or more fulfilling your life might be if you were completely on your own. Your dreams stop intersecting. You begin to build a mental life raft, preparing yourself for an independent existence because the shared ship no longer feels sustainable. The fourth indicator is the presence of underlying curiosity. Curiosity is the ultimate lifeline of intimacy. It is the desire to truly know the mind and heart of the person you are with. In a rough patch, even though you are fighting, snapping, or feeling distant, you still care deeply about what your partner is thinking. You might ask, out of frustration, "Why are you acting like this? What is wrong with you?" Even if the question is wrapped in anger, the underlying root is still curiosity. You want to understand their behavior. You want to know what is happening beneath their surface because their emotional state directly impacts yours. When a couple is growing apart, curiosity is replaced by total predictability and indifference. You stop asking questions because you assume you already know the answer, or worse, because you no longer care to know. You see them come home sad or stressed, and you don't ask what happened. They see you crying, and they don't ask why. You stop exploring each other. You treat your partner like a piece of furniture in the room. You know they are there. You walk around them. But you no longer look at them with wonder, interest, or a desire to discover who they are today. When curiosity dies, the relationship becomes automated. It becomes a business arrangement, a partnership of logistics rather than a connection of souls. If you are listening to these words right now, and your heart is realizing that you are merely in a rough patch, I want you to feel a deep sense of relief washing over you. A rough patch is not a death sentence. It is an invitation to rest. It is a sign that the two of you have been carrying too much weight for too long without taking care of the container that holds you. To heal a rough patch, you do not need to reinvent your entire relationship. You simply need to extend a radical amount of grace to one another. You need to sit down, clear away the external noise, and say, "We are under a lot of pressure right now. I know we are snapping at each other, but I am on your team. Let's be gentle with each other until the storm passes. You heal a rough patch with rest, with simplified schedules, and with the quiet reassurance that the love is still there, just waiting for the fatigue to lift. But what if, as you listen to this, your chest tightens because you realize the truth is deeper? What if you recognize that the two of you have truly been growing apart? I want you to take another deep breath, and I want you to banish all shame and panic from your mind. Realizing that you are growing apart does not mean your relationship is over. It simply means that the old version of your relationship has run its course. It means that the rules, the habits, and the ways you used to love each other can no longer sustain the people you have become. Growing apart is a loud, clear alarm system telling you that it is time to date each other again from scratch. You cannot return to the past, but you can build a completely new bridge to meet each other where you stand today. It requires you to step out of the roles of husband, wife, or partner, and step back into the roles of two curious human beings who want to get to know each other all over again. If you want to save a relationship that has started to drift, the work begins with radical, courageous vulnerability. You have to be the one to break the empty silence. You have to sit down, look your partner in the eyes with absolute softness, and say, "I feel like we are drifting away from each other. I feel like I am losing my best friend, and it scares me. I don't want to live like strangers anymore. Can we please talk about who we are now, and see if we can find a way to fall in love with the people we have become?" It takes immense bravery to say those words. It forces you to drop your defenses entirely and expose your rawest fear. But it is the only key that can unlock a locked heart. When you show your partner your fear of losing them, rather than your anger at their distance, you give them a safe space to confess their own loneliness. You might be surprised to find that they have been sitting on their side of the chasm, feeling just as isolated, just as terrified, and just as desperate for a lifeline as you are. As we bring this quiet reflection to a close today, remember that relationships are living, breathing ecosystems. They are not meant to be perfectly smooth, static, or unchanging. They will expand, they will contract, they will go through seasons of intense heat and seasons of freezing cold. Do not judge the lifetime of your love by the difficulty of this current chapter. Whether you are navigating a temporary rough patch or learning how to bridge a deep drift, the mere fact that you are here, listening, searching for answers, and holding space for your connection proves that your capacity to love is still wide open. Be exceptionally gentle with your heart today. Go home to your partner not with a list of demands or a shield of defense, but with an open hand and a soft voice. Offer them a tiny pocket of safety in a world that is far too loud. Trust that the love that brought you together still knows the way back home, if you are both willing to take the first quiet step. Thank you for trusting me with your thoughts and your time today. If these words brought a sense of clarity or comfort to your spirit, please consider subscribing to this channel. This is a sanctuary built for your heart, a place where we will always seek the gentle, honest truths of love and connection. Leave a single comment below to let me know you were here, and until next time, take care of yourself, be gentle with your partner, and may your path be filled with steady healing.